Welcome back to another GeekaWhat video, and today I'm taking you over the best £800 gaming PC build for 2016. So make sure to drop a like rating and to subscribe, but without any further ado, let's get straight into today's GeekaWhat video. The first question I get asked regardless of the price range or the build is how will this PC perform? This build will smash ultra settings at 1080 and 1440p and even do medium to high settings whilst achieving 60 FPS with textures and anti-aliasing on at 4K. So without any further ado, I'll take you over the parts list for this epic £800 gaming PC build. The CPU I've gone for is the Intel Core i5-6500. It's a 3.2 GHz quad-core CPU, and whilst 3.2 GHz is slightly low on the clock speed side, the CPU isn't overclockable, but 3.2 GHz certainly isn't going to hinder your gaming performance all that much. The CPU is also capable of a little bit of video editing as well, although an i7 certainly is preferred, and whilst I wouldn't run an SLI setup on this CPU, a single card setup such as the one we've gone for in this build is great on this 155 quid CPU. The motherboard I went for was the MSI B150M BAZOOKA. It's a micro ATX LGA 1151 motherboard which comes in at £65. It's got the LGA 1151 socket on, support for DDR4 memory and the new Skylake architecture of course. It runs on the B150 chipset, which means it isn't an overclocking tier motherboard, although the CPU isn't overclockable, so that doesn't matter anyway, and going for a non-overclocking SKU and a non-overclocking motherboard does give you a little bit better value for money and allows for better graphics performance. For the RAM, I went for Kingston HyperX 3 Black. 1/8GB DIMM is more than enough, and 16GB of RAM will be the sweet spot in 2016. Hence, I've gone for this configuration to allow you to get another stick of this RAM and shove it in to get 16GB of DDR4 memory. It's clocked at 2133 MHz, which isn't the highest nor the lowest DDR4 RAM speeds. You don't need anything too high anyway, as it doesn't really make a difference for gaming. You can get it in black, blue, white, or red, but black in the parts list fits with everything else in the build, in my opinion, better than any other colour. For storage, I went for the best of both worlds, a 1TB Seagate Barracuda and a 120GB Kingston SSDNow V300 series solid state drive. Both come in at £35. SSDs have gone down phenomenally in price, and whilst 120GB isn't a hell of a lot of storage, it's certainly enough for a couple of your games, movies, music, your C drive, your boot drive, copy of Windows, etc, etc. And 1000GB of hard drive storage certainly is enough to store your Steam library on there as well. For the video card, I went for the Gigabyte GTX 980. It's a 4GB WindForce cooler, 4GB of VRAM, which is great for 4K as I previously mentioned. The WindForce 3X cooler gives 3 fans, which each run at low RPMs to keep the sound and the volume down, but then ramp up at higher temperatures to keep the card nice and cool. You can do quite a lot of overclocking on this card, and Nvidia's GTX 980 certainly is one of the best, if not their best, card they released in 2015. The case I went for was the Phanteks Enthoo Pro M. It's an ATX mid-tower case, which is all you need for this build. Comes in at £50. It's got some nice upgrade config options, and Phanteks makes some great cases. And as Linus Tech Tips said himself, Phanteks, you're a case and a power supply manufacturer now, because this case is incredible. Phanteks do some really nice stuff in the case market, and it's definitely worth a look, and this case is perfect for this build at £50. The power supply I went for is the EVGA Supernova NEX 650W. You can view my review of the EVGA Supernova NEX 750W power supply with the card section now, or the link in the description below. They're basically the same, except it's just got another 100 watts. Fully modular, you only plug in the cables you need, and the cables are all black. You get none of this rainbow effect, keeping your colour scheme really nice for this system. And for just over £800, this build really is the best you can get for the money for 2016 for 1080p, 1440p and 4K gaming. If you found this video helpful, drop a like rating, make sure to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, we'll see you in the next GeekaWhat video.